Hey traders, John Howell here. Let's have a market update today. I've got something really interesting to share with you as well too when it comes to the oil market. Oil may be getting ready for another move to the upside. So we may be getting more increase in oil. What's that mean for inflation? Be looking at so I'll be looking at the inflation rate today, interest rates and all the markets. Do just a bit of an update on across all the markets today as well too. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into the update today. Let me just fix this up here. Before we get started, guys, if you do need some help, very first link in the description, guys, click on that. You're going to get instant access to a free training that I've just recently done, and you can see the replay of that. It's a 90-minute training walking you through the 3 secrets, basically, my trading system and what you really need to know to actually become a good trader. Plus, also, my system is going to email you a full complete trading course that goes over 5 phases. You're going to get that for free. It's all for free just to help you out. So very first link in the description, guys, click on that. Start getting the help today. So let's have a look at the S&P 500. The S&P 500 is still down through here, and the big keys that I've been looking out for over the last couple of market updates. And if you are new to my updates, then welcome. You know, see the buttons down there. Just click them all. Click them all. The subscribe, the like button. Even click the dislike button, even though that doesn't work. I'm pretty sure I've got many people clicking the dislike button now anyway. So the thing about what I've been saying over the last couple of days is that that we may get ready for a bounce because we're oversold right now. We definitely got a lot of fear in the marketplace, so we may be getting ready for some sort of a bounce in the markets. But what we need to see first is, we may start to see a trend to the upside. What we need to see is the market is the market actually trending to the upside. So the big thing here is this: is that I don't know whether the market is going to fail here. I'm going to just go for another move to the downside. That's quite possible, right? But what I've been saying is that if the buyers are going to start to come back in, we want to start to see the buyers come back up through here. And then we want to start to see this create a higher low. And then through here, that's the big key we're after here, okay? I'm not saying the market's going to rally now. It may rally now. I don't know. But what I am saying is that for this market to start to change a tune in the second half of this year, what I'm looking for over the next couple of months is whether we do start to create a higher low, breaking past previous highs. Because we also can see here that, see how around this 4,000, around that 4,100 area, you can see that whole area through there is indeed a strong resistance level. Plus also we've got a strong moving average coming down through here. This is the 20 moving average, strong moving average. So right now, yes, the trend is down. But I've been saying that if I'm looking to buy this market, this is what we need to keep an eye for, because we over the next couple of months, we could be getting this. So the big thing for me is what we want to see is we want to see the market start to have a move up. And then we want to see the moving average probably start to flatten out through here like this and probably start to do something like that. Then it comes back down, then it makes a higher low, and then it starts to make a move up. Right? So that's what I'm basically saying for the last couple of market updates. And I just want to do a bit of a clarification across all that as well too, okay? So I'm not fighting the market. The trend is down. We're starting to make these lower highs where the trend is down. And so just make sure that I wouldn't want to be selling it now because I wouldn't want to be shorting it right now, but also it's not a really good time to buy the market because the trend is still down right now. So the best time to get in the market is wait for a pullback. And so we have to wait and see what actually happens through there. But the trend is definitely still down right now. If we do get the bounce, then we can start to see that as well too. Looking at the Nasdaq, and the same sort of thing for the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq right now is that major level of support through there, that 12,001, that 12,500 level through there. As you can see, that's that major area we need to start to break through. If we do start to change tune, we need to start breaking past these 12,500. Otherwise, we're going to still continue this downward trend. The trend is your friend until the end, but when the end of the trend does start to come, maybe it comes up through here and we have a bit of a pullback, and then we start to get a break up like that, and then this moving average starts to come back down or flatten out, then guess what? Then yeah, now we could be getting, now the trend is changing, right? So the whole thing is just the trend is your friend until the end. If we are going to get a bounce, that's what we're going to start to see in the markets, and get ready for that, because when it does happen, right? Or if not if, but it will happen. It's just, it may be next month, right? But when we do start to change the tune of these markets, what we need to see, we need to keep an eye out for what is going on with the highs and lows and stuff like that as well too. Same for the Dow Jones as well too. Same sort of thing. We've got this major area of support and resistance around that sort of 32,000 level, around about that area, 32,500, probably, yeah, 32,500. You can see that level of support that's happening through there. So that's what's happening right now. We've got a very strong moving average coming down. So we do have a high and a lower high, and then the market's now rallying up and having problems through here as well too. Again, if we're going to start to change tune, really the Dow Jones needs to start to get really back above this 35,000. If we can get back above this 35,000, then we could start to see a really significant move to the upside. But this is where you want to start to see. If we can get that, then yeah, we can start to see a really nice move up from there. Looking at the Russell, and there's a lot of trend lines on this Russell chart, isn't there? Let me take that off the screen. So on the Russell, we've obviously got this long-term trend line coming down through here, and we have this major level of support coming through here, which is around that 190 level, as you can see. And you can see how it was a lot of support, and then we broke down. Look what happened. We broke down, came back up, and then this was this day right here. And let me zoom right in a bit more. Okay, so this day right here was indeed, that was the FOMC announcement day. And then look what happened, complete rejection. That was a complete rejection where? Right at the resistance level. So at this time, who's in control of the markets? Now this is short-term picture, okay, guys. This is, if you want to be a short-term trader, just you need to use the charts. You can't use fundamentals to do a short-term trade, okay? Because it just doesn't work like that. It's important to become a technician of these markets. Again, just go get that very first thing in the description. Go get access to the training and the trading course, and I promise you, in the trading course, phase 2 and 3 are all about chart reading stuff. But look at this here. All this support became resistance, and then now we actually fell off the screen here. But here was the big thing. This is the reason why I like to use moving averages on the screen. And this one here, I'm using just a simple 20 moving average on the daily charts. Because if we squeeze up, see what the moving average was doing? The moving average is like utilizing the moving average on a screen. How you do that, and the best way to use a moving average is that there's a couple of different ways, but the one way I want to talk about in this video is where is it trending? Okay, not where it's pointing, but where is it trending? Okay, so if it's trending down, obviously we've got the moving average is like a momentum indicator. Okay, the momentum is down, then it flattens out. Okay, momentum's flat, and then the momentum's down, and then look what happened here. See how it was just pretty much flat. We're just slightly just going sideways. Guess what happened to the market? Sideways, right? And then look what happened. And then we started getting what? Then we started getting a strong trending moving average, which means what? Now we've got a strong momentum here on the downside through here. Okay, so the whole thing about this is I'm trying to see, firstly, where is the trend, which we have a high, lower high, and now another lower high, especially rejecting here. And if you guys remember last week or whatever it was, when we actually had the Fed announcement and we completely rejected, I knew, that's when I came out and did a video the very next day saying, guys, no, we are not getting ready for a rally right now. There's more selling to come to create the bottom. If you guys remember, I did that video last week or the week before. More selling to come to create the bottom. I don't know whether we created the bottom yet, but look at this here. That was that day right there, and then we've continued down, and we're right at this level of support right now. So if you're looking to read the markets and read the charts, there's a few simple things. Firstly, use the trend, which is the highs and lows, which is if I'm utilizing, let me just take everything off the screen here for a minute. If we're utilizing this chart right here, step number 1 would be to find a trend. So we're going to move it low, and then a lower high, and then a lower low, and then another lower high, and now we're just having a pullback through here. Okay, so we can see the trend is actually down through here. Lower highs, and lower highs. Okay, then the next thing you want to do is to start to take the confusion out of the markets. Is okay, then now we have the sellers in control because the sellers, they're stepping down. The trend is down. Then look at the moving average, and then it's also, if we have that, but then we also have a strong moving average, and it's trending down like this. That means we have strong momentum behind it. Okay, so that means therefore trying to go long right now is a very low probability of entering a trade. Remember, guys, I'm talking about a short-term trade. A short-term trade could last for a couple of days, maybe even for a couple of weeks. Okay, a long-term trade is you're going to buy. You're buying right now because by 12 months, by the end of next year, we're going to see much higher prices. That's investing. What I'm teaching here is a technician of how to read the actual market, lower highs, and then utilizing the moving average. Now, what you want to be careful of is when the moving average comes back down, but then it starts to flatten out like that. That's if this moving average is momentum, and the momentum is definitely and momentum is trying to come, and the momentum is strong because it's strong trending on the downside, but then it flattens out. What is the moving average telling you? The moving average is telling you what? Momentum is slowing and it's coming to an end. So the momentum in that move is coming to an end. Right? So you can see here, strong, and look what happened. We started to flatten out, didn't we? So trying to trade from basically this point through here, trying to trade here is a very low probability. Why? Because there's no trend, because it's just very sideways, but also secondly, we have flat momentum. Make sense? So that's the reason why a lot of traders try to trade this through here and they get chopped up, because one, the market is sideways, there's no true trend. So the trend is your friend until the end, and if there's no trend, there is no friend. He left. We'll put it this way, guys. Most of you guys that are watching right now, a bit of a side note on that, if you are one of these guys that's growing, that's making things happen, and that's slowly getting better, and you're going to lose a lot of friends. Okay, that's just what's going to happen in your life. You're going to lose a lot of friends in your life, and it's going to be, that's just part of the parcel, right? Because the more I grow as a person, the more I realize that I have to let go of these people. I don't hate them; they're not bad people. They're just the chain on where I want to go in life. You know what I mean? And sometimes you just got to say, well, you are definitely not a person that I want to hang around with, because who you hang around with, who you associate with, is who you become, right? And that's where, like, as you continue on, you only have it's important to have people around you that are go-getters, right? That are going to encourage you, that are going to push you. And unfortunately, as I've continued my trading career now, going on almost 18 years, I've had to let so many friends go, and because I've done that, it's allowed me to free up and not think about all this bullshit that they associate with, and therefore it's allowed me to continue to grow. So that's just part of the parcel, guys, and that's the reason why with my inner circle, that's what my private inner circle is all about. Yes, it's a coaching program, my inner circle, but it's all about having a community of people that you can hang around with that were on the same level there. So I hope that makes sense when it comes to that. But back to what I was saying before, is this is where a lot of people get chopped up. And if you're trying to trade the markets and the trend is sideways, there's no trend, and you've got flat momentum, that's where it's dangerous in the markets there. So let's go have a look at gold, and let's actually go. Right, there we go, right there. Okay, so we can see what's happening with gold. Gold is still trending down. We're not getting any buying activity. Gold has continued to have a very, very, very strong move down, much stronger than I had originally thought. But as you can see, once again, look what happened. And this has actually happened a lot, right? You can see this is actually, what happened there? Go, right. So this has actually happened a lot. You can see this is actually what happened to Russell too. You can see how we've actually had this level through here. Look at this here. So we had really not much going on. Then the market broke down, hit resistance, and then we started to break down. Once again, look at the moving average, strong trending down. We started a strong trend through here. So it means that we're actually starting to trend in the markets through there. So we've still got a very strong trend we've got a bit of a bit of a strong trend on the downside, but we're making high, lower, high. So we're still in a very big, strong trending movement in the markets through here. We really want to for this thing to become bullish, we really need to get back above 1900. Again, guys, this is a short-term, big picture investment opportunities is a completely different thing. Okay, guys. So same for the GDX as well too. Very, very, very strong trend. You can see here that we've had a move down and then a move back up. Starting to strong. You can see here, look at this here. It's actually really interesting. You can see the moving average. See how we went from sort of strong to like, it's just like falling off a cliff momentum. You can see here we've had a low, high. So we could be getting ready, if we get a weak pullback, we get something like this through here, we could be getting ready for another move down on the GDX. So this is actually not looking good for the short term. We're probably going to have a lot of stops below here. So if over the next couple of days, over the next week, that if we don't get some good buying activity, we get some sort of weak sideways movement just like this, well, we're probably going to see another move just like that. So it is what it is. And same for the GDX as well too. The GDX is right at that level of support. We've had a move down, again sideways, and then a move down. Looking at this thing through here, let me just take that off the screen through there. Looking at this thing through here, again, what we don't want to see is we don't want to see something like this. We don't want to see, like a sideways movement like that, because then we're probably going to break down and start to move something like that. What we want to see is we want to see a big move up, and then for this trend to start to change. But on the short term, guys, right now the trend is definitely down, and we've got the very, very, very strong sellers in the markets through here. Looking at the SILJ, and again, we're still definitely well below this major level of support. We've actually ran a lot of stops through here, so it's going to be really interesting to see what actually happens here. But we're still on a big downward trend, and same for the SIL as well too. So the thing that there's a few things that I want to share with you when looking at these markets. So the first thing is the fear and greed index. So right now on the fear and greed index, you can see how, let me actually bring up the clock. You can see how we're definitely right at the extreme fear level, right at that level of extreme fear. So we're probably getting towards some sort of a strong bottom soon. If we did get any more downside in the markets, this thing would be pegging at zero. And as you can see, if I go to the timeline here, as you can see that we generally only get to around 12. That one there was 12. That one there was 14. As you can see, right? Even on the vid situation, we got down. Right now, we're here when the vid situation happened. This is where we actually got down. We got down to 7. And now we've got around about that 12 as well too. So if we did get a bit more downside in the stock market, which is quite possible, then this thing's going to be pegging down here. That's going to create that will create some sort of a short-term bottom. Not that day, okay, guys. People think, oh, the fear and greed index is extreme fear. It's going to bottom, and the next day it doesn't. Oh, I thought it was going to bottom. Like, not that day, okay, guys. This here is telling me that within the next couple of weeks, we should start to see a really significant bottom in the market. So that's what I'm looking at through there. The other thing that I'm really watching as well too is the interest rates. And as you can see, look at this here on the interest rates here. We're starting to get on the interest rates, we're starting to get this slowing of a movement through here. And what I mean by slowing is you can see here we actually had a very strong up move, right? Strong up move, and now we're just starting to do something like this. You can see how it's starting to get to where I believe is going to be a bit of a topping action in the interest rates. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see a rejection, and you can see what's happening now. I wouldn't be too surprised now, because we've had a big move, for this thing to start to have a very, very, very nice pullback, which will give a bit of a buoy to the stock market as well. And the last thing I want to talk about here is if you actually look at the inflation numbers, right? The United States inflation rate, we actually had a decrease here. Are we start to see an inflection point in the overall numbers? Are we actually seeing that now? Because we actually went 5.4, 6.2, 6.8, 7, 7.5, 7.9, 8.5, now 8.3. What's going to be the next number? 8? Have we already started seeing the inflection point? Because I'm actually expecting that. Because if you go look at any market, right? Look at this here, big vertical spike. Right? Most people think, oh, well, we should be jumping on that because it's a steam train and we should be getting into it now. where if you know anything about the markets, and if I go to max, you can see here that whenever we do get these spikes, we inevitably what? A big spike then is followed by what? A big drop. A big spike is followed by a big drop. Even back through here in the 1940s, and the same thing through here, then through obviously the 1970s as well too. This is what if you actually look at this point through here, can I zoom in on this? I can, cool. Right, this is what I believe is going to happen this decade. We're seeing this right now, and then we're going to start to get a cooling off period, and we're going to pull back. And then what's going to happen towards the later end of the decade, so this was not 1970s into the 1980s, I believe the second half of this decade, we're going to see something like that again. Now, what would cause that? Well, one, a recession, and two, the next QE package is going to be much, much, much bigger than the one we saw in the COVID situation, right? So we saw that, and then obviously they gave money out and so on and so forth. So what they're going to do, they're going to do that again, all right? And then they're going to just print. The package is going to be enormous. When they do that, obviously things are going to be hit hard. When they do that, guess what's going to happen to gold, metals, stock market, asset prices? They're what? They're going to go for another big move. So if you're looking for a time to get into the market, over the next couple of years, when we start to get the recession on the way, they're going to do a massive, massive QE package again, and we know that's what's going to happen. So I believe this is what's going to happen from there. So there we go, traders. Hope this helped you out. Once again, guys, click on that link in the description right now. Go over, get access to a 90-minute training that I just did, and also get access to that free trading course to help you out. I'll see you in the next video.